Pakistan's merchandise exports to the United States witnessed a significant decline, falling by 10.14% to $3.63 billion in the first 8 months of the current fiscal year, from $4.04 billion over the corresponding period last year. This decrease is primarily attributed to a dip in exports of textiles and clothing to North America, as reported by the State Bank of Pakistan. In contrast, Pakistan's exports to China surged by 42% to $1.895 billion in July-February fiscal year 24, from $1.334 billion over the corresponding period last year. Projections suggest that exports to China will reach $3 billion by the end of June this year. According to data from the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, exports to the US stood at $5.17 billion in fiscal year 23, marking a decline of 23.28% from $6.74 billion over the previous fiscal year. Similarly, exports to China totaled $2.22 billion in fiscal year 24, down by 30% from $3.18 billion in fiscal year 22. Despite these shifts, the US remained Pakistan's largest export destination in fiscal year 23, accounting for 19% of overall exports, albeit showing a moderate decrease from 21% the previous year. Meanwhile, exports to China saw a decline from 10% to 8% in the same period. Additionally, imports from the US experienced a notable decrease, plummeting by 17.36% to $1.19 billion during July-February from $1.44 billion a year ago. In fiscal year 23, imports from the US also dipped by 45.64% to $2.18 billion compared to $4.02 billion in the corresponding months last year. The decline in exports can be attributed to various factors, including capital shortages hindering businesses' export operations and issues with refunds, such as delays in receiving sales tax refunds and deferred tax payments. The challenges in the export sector have been exacerbated by the slowdown in major importing economies, compounded by stringent monetary policies responding to high inflation and the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict.